Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a review of Naa Peru Surya starring Allu Arjun. So this film is star vehicle for Allu Arjun playing, I believe the first time, a soldier with serious anger management issues. The script was written by Vakkantham Vamsi. This is his directorial debut, but he's known for penning the scripts for several blockbuster films. Allu Arjun's Race Guram, Salman Khan's Kick, Kick 2, Temper starring Junior NTR. So he's done big action films before. Warning, some spoilers ahead. I get into a few plot points. If you don't want to know any spoilers at all, just know I considered this an average film, not my favorite Allu Arjun film, first-time director. Some things I liked about it, but just an average film. We see the opening credits. We see that the only thing that Surya, Allu Arjun's character, wants is to go to the border and to fight for his country. And he does so many extreme things. He's constantly getting into trouble. And Boman Irani plays his commanding officer, which was, I think, a great supporting role for Boman Irani. Unlike previous films where I've seen him in the Telugu industry, it appeared that Boman Irani dubbed for himself. It was kind of, I believe, you can correct me if I was wrong. I believe he was, had kind of short phrases in Telugu, and then he was intermixing it with some English. He made it work, let's just put it that way. Bowman was very good. Rao Ramesh plays Surya's godfather, not his actual father. I'm not going to say what he does, but Surya does some horrible things and gets kicked out of the army. And the only way that he can come back in and be reinstated and able to follow his dream of going to the border is to get the top psychologist in the country to sign off that he has gone through treatment and that he has resolved his anger issues, that he's passed the psychological test. Well, so this psychologist turns out to be his father. And so it's one of those where you have a reconciliation of family, which is typical in Telugu cinema. This is a decent film. The action scenes are really good. There's a really good baddie in most of the film, and that is played by Sarat Kumar, and then his son is played by Thakur Anup Singh. So both of them are good villains. There's a mirror of a scene with the villain in the first half of the film, and then there's a mirror of that film. It's kind of flipped with Allu Arjun towards the end of the film, which I thought was really, I like that mirroring and repeating of that same scene with a different context. Vanilla Kishore is in the film, is Allu Arjun's kind of friend and a little bit of a mentor. But there's really not much comedy in the film. I mean, normally Vanilla Kishore provides laughs when you might have a more serious main character. They're like minor laughs. This is not like DJ, where you had sort of a split between slick action and really broad comedy. There's almost no light moments in the film. Emmanuel plays Varsha, who is the love interest in the film. And there's a really nice montage song that shows their romance, but she really doesn't have a lot to do other than look pretty and be Allu Arjun's arm candy. And frankly, with the way he acts around her in losing his hair-trigger temper in front of her, and the way he treats some of her relatives, this is not a guy that I would want to date or marry my daughter. I'm just saying that. I mean, Allu Arjun is playing a character who really has issues with anger, who cannot control his temper, his superior officer says, if I sent you to the border rather than, keeping us from being in war, you'd probably start World War III. He just has no control. And I'm not convinced that the short amount of time that he spends in treatment is really enough. And I didn't really see him groveling enough to beg her forgiveness for his bad behavior. It's just, I was really unsatisfied with the resolution of their relationship. And there could have been more drama to the story that was dealt with their relationship, but it was just a side issue, just so that there was be a pretty girl for Allu Arjun to dance with. I mean, that's the way I felt. That was really the only reason her character was in the movie. The songs themselves, the team of Vishal Shekhar normally does really great soundtracks. I don't know that this was my favorite. There was one particular song that's very like a hip-hop dance, and they, you know, inexplicably film half of it in LA, and they've got Allu Arjun and all of this hip-hop costuming, and it just kind of looked ridiculous. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't love the songs. I didn't love the dances, and that, for me, was what I was really going in to see, is Allu Arjun's awesome dancing, and it didn't compare to me to, like, the ones in DJ. So, I think the most interesting relationship in the film is Allu Arjun with his father. And there were some interesting things, you know, like what medical rules are there that you could treat psychologically your son, right? Like, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it was just a really odd dynamic that they had. I'm going to say that both actors, Arjun Sarja, you know, as the psychologist doctor, I'm not saying that he played his part, you know, wrong. I think he played it well for the way that the script was written. To me, more the issue is the way their scenes were written. And I do think Allu Arjun, given what his character was supposed to be, played it very well. I mean, he was extremely intense through the entire movie, which is maybe kind of my issue, is that it was just all kind of the same intense tone, or mostly was. But I come back to, the action scenes were very cool. It's a decent movie. It's just, I can see points where it could have been better. And so for me, I would give it an average rating. You know, it's a decent film to go see, especially if you're an Allu Arjun fan. I think you'll be very satisfied with his incredible action scenes and just the way that he acts this very intense part. But for a casual fan, I don't know, I think you leave the theater thinking it's a little too long. It could have been tightened up, could have had a better editor. That's kind of the problem when you have, like, the director is a scriptwriter. Sometimes I just felt like he was in love with his words and just kind of needed somebody to pull him back a little bit. But I'll be waiting to see what this director does next. I mean, he's been a good storyteller in the past. I just don't know that this film completely worked in every respect. And like I said, I want to love Allu Arjun as a character. So he's playing someone that at some points of the film is frankly not very likable. Becomes, of course, noble for the grand finale, which kind of goes over the top with the patriotism and everything. But okay, I'll give you that. But it reminded me in a lot of ways of part of the message of the film Murchi, where Prabhas plays this hothead, right? But there were so many scenes of Prabhas not only fighting like a crazed hothead, but also lighter moments showing his good qualities, that I never hesitated to think that he should end up with a girl. And this, Allu Arjun was playing someone that was so dark, so full of anger, that I really fear for the relationship he had with the girl. You know, like, if you can be that violent with her family and whatever, like, it was on the edge of, or maybe over the edge of, like an abusive kind of person. And so it left me a little disquieted. Now, I like to see the action scenes. I like to see our hero beat up the baddies. Okay, I'm down with that. But I don't know, you know? So I'm giving you my honest take on it, but I do think it's a decent film. I'm anxious to hear what you think about it and what you think of the film, and if you agree with me that it's just a decent film, but it's not as great as it could have been. If you're an Allu Arjun fan or not, I'm anxious to hear if you agree with what my takeaway from the film was. If you like this film review, please press the like button, share it. Follow us on Twitter at PardeziYT, subscribe to the Pardesi channel, and if you hit the bell, then you'll get a notification whenever I have a new film review or trailer reaction or live stream.